Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we can start.
Sure.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sakshi.
Okay. Your name is Rajesh Kumar, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. Okay. So, shall we start with the introduction?
Why not?
You can start.
Okay, sure. I'm Rajesh Kumar. I'm from Odisha, and
Mhm.
I'm really interested into this language and communication. That's why nowadays I'm connected with so much people so that I can learn something and I can share my experience with all of them.
Mhm.
Now you can introduce yourself.
Okay, sure. My name is Sakshi Chauhan, and I'm from Gwalior, MP. And I have completed my master's, so now I'm a PhD scholar. And
Okay.
apart from that, I'm just running my YouTube channel and learning this language. That's all. And
Okay,
I
that's good.
really like to connect with people and learn something new. So it's my hobby, and I'm also very interested in reading and writing books and stories and poetries and all.
Okay, that's really great. And what about your YouTube journey? When did you start that?
YouTube I have started actually 1.5 years back, and since then I'm just working and just uploading videos. So I've
Okay,
learned a
and
lot of things while uploading
okay,
and
that's
recording.
really great. And
Hmm.
I have another question for you that, as you have been doing this since few months, so what is the best feedback you have received till now?
Best feedback actually, yes, some people say, okay, I mean, I don't agree with that. People say, okay, your way of speaking is good. And some people say, okay, you are too fluent. So these are some things and some feedbacks mainly I have received.
But you don't agree with that.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
People say you are so fluent and your way of speaking is too good and it's too impressive, but I feel that I need to work. It
Okay.
just is starting, it's just a beginning.
Yeah, that is a sign of a good learner. I don't know about any other thing, but I can say that you are very kind.
Okay, thank you. That's, I do agree with that. I am.
Okay. And you
Yes.
mentioned that you are really interested in poetries. So, what is your favorite poetries or any lines if you do remember?
Of course, there are so many famous writers that I mainly when I get free, so I prefer to read books, English books. Also, when it comes to reading English book, I prefer just self-help books. And
Okay.
when it comes to reading Hindi books, so yes, I've read a lot of Hindi books like Premchand and some Hindi writers also, Amrita Pritam. These are some my favorite writers. So I have read, I think in Hindi, some Rashmi Rathi and Nirmala, these kind of
Great one, yeah.
upanyas. So these are some books. And
Yeah.
Premchand's Gaban Godan, these books.
Very
I've read.
famous.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about Rasmirati. That is one of the masterpiece as I have read
Yes.
till now. And
Oh,
you mentioned also you love to read some self-help books. So would you like to take some name of those books so that people will get some idea?
oh, sure, sure. So in self-help books, when it comes to this, I have read, I started, I think, Power of Subconscious Mind, some
Hmm,
self-help books and some spiritual concept also that has given in this book, and Path of Spirituality, Atomic Habit that I'm reading nowadays. Yes.
Well, we have a lot of things in common because I have also read the book Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy and Atomic Habits. These are the two great books I will suggest people to
Gita is
read.
also there.
It is really
Yeah.
life changing. The words are very simple to understand and it has a lot of impact in our life. The moment you'll start following all those things, you'll find a lot of changes in your life also and in the thought process. So it's really great. Happy to know that you are reading some nice books.
Yes, yes.
So are you a
And
literature student actually?
sorry,
Are you a literature student?
not, I cannot say myself, but but I'm just doing this
I mean, you are
random.
doing PhD in which course? What's your major?
Botany.
Biology. Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Hmm. Okay, and what about your education? You didn't
Like
mention.
I have completed my master's in chemistry, so my major is chemistry. But yeah, English is something we are connected with, so I enjoy talking to people also. Even I was previously working as a speaking trainer for a few months. So
Okay.
because of that reason, I'm really interested in these kind of things, communication and all. And
Okay.
usually in my YouTube channel, I upload some vocabs, some daily use vocabulary which people can use in the speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so as you have already told me, you are working as a speaking trainer, right? Spoken trainer. So are you working online or offline?
Mostly I take online classes because most of my students are from different states, so it's not possible to conduct offline classes.
Mhm.
So that's what I do.
Okay. So could you elaborate more exactly how do you deal with them and what are some parts, major parts where are you focusing to
Uh,
teaching people
sure,
to,
sure, why
yeah.
not? So, first of all, I guess you know that examination IELTS, IELTS, it stands for
Yes.
International English Language Testing System. So,
Hmm.
generally, for that examination, I guide people for the speaking module. So
Okay.
usually we do focus on a certain feedback system. We ask few questions. There are different questions like part one, part two, and part three. Varieties of
Mm-hmm.
questions are there. We ask those questions to them, and after listening their answer, we give certain feedback in which part they work on or where they can modify the vocabulary and all those things. So it is more into the advanced level of speaking, which comes under a speaking interview.
Okay. Great, great.
So
That's
there
too
are a
good.
lot of things because English is a very vast thing.
Yes, yes. I'm also very interested. Okay, could you tell me more about this exam? I mean, I know about it. There are two parts. I mean, they focus on reading, listening, writing, and speaking
Four
everything.
modules, yeah.
Four things.
So generally, the examination has four modules: LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And
Mm-hmm.
as we do know that reading and writing are a bit different, and speaking is something which you need practice. We have
Right.
never been taught how to speak mostly. We know how to read and write. Those are basic things we are aware of. And listening, something which you can practice by listening to podcast because the way
Yes.
of speaking pronunciation varies sometimes. So if you
Mm-hmm.
are not acquainted with that, it would be hard for you to recognize. And the
Mm-hmm.
examination, it starts with 16,000 around, which is the registration fee. And the
Okay.
validation of the examination is kind of 2 years. And
Mm-hmm.
usually people go for this examination, those who are really interested to migrate to other countries for their study purpose or working purpose. And when we talk about the IELTS speaking, particularly the examination, here they focus on the basic structures and
Mm-hmm.
use of vocabs. Vocabs means advanced vocabulary like idiom, phrases, sometimes they prefer to use. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
able to use all those things, definitely you will get a better band score and you'll be
Okay.
able to clear the exam with better score. So it is all about that. Means we all are acquainted with normal level of speaking and different topics, but when it
Mm.
comes to speaking on different topics along with using those advanced vocabs, it's really a Herculean task. We can say it's not everyone's
Right.
cup of tea. So it takes time, it
Mm-hmm.
takes practice, it takes patience.
Of course. Okay, one more question is arising in my mind. So, while appearing in an interview of IELTS, so do we need to use advanced vocabulary? Is it necessary, or can we use just simple vocab? Like right
Uh,
now, we are. Hmm.
Well, it's not mandatory to use more than 3 to 4 advanced vocabs, but at least you should be using some. Why? So I'm telling you, for example, one interviewer is taking your interview. If everyone
Hmm.
is giving same kind of answer, then on what basis they will recognize you or identify you? If your speaking is
Oh,
different from others, definitely they'll recognize you or they will take you or you will be given better band score. So it is
that's true.
because of that reason. So there is a demand of lexical resources, we say advanced vocab. So we are not telling that in every sentence you have to use, but no, there are certain places where you can use. So it is more into that. But normally, if you're able to convey your message with
Hmm.
proper words and structures, if you're not making more grammatical mistake, if your way of speaking, the tone, pronunciation is also good, then somehow you'll be able to score good band score. But if you want
Mhm.
advanced, then you have to do advanced practice.
Okay, that's really helpful because earlier I used to feel that okay, we just need to use advanced vocab and phrases and idioms. Only then we will sound so fluent. Otherwise, we will not sound fluent.
Yeah.
Is it okay right now?
Yeah. Shall we resume?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, power went off. What should we
Okay.
do? Hmm.
Uh, as you wish, like if you can connect those two videos, then you can upload, or you can upload in two parts.
Okay, or we can just add it and remove that part.
You can do
That
that.
would be-
Absolutely. So
Okay.
here
Yes.
I will clear that thing as you did ask that we have a wrong conception that whether the advanced things are necessary or how much it is necessary. And so
Hmm.
let me clear that thing. First of all, while learning or speaking, we have to focus on basic structures. That includes some
Hmm.
sort of grammar rules like tenses. Basic grammar you should know. Once you know the use of verbs and modals and all those basic things, you can enter into content generation, because I have seen there are a lot of people, they speak usually well when it comes to introduction or normal speaking, but when
Hmm.
one topic has been given, they fumble, they think a lot before speaking. So the lack
Yeah.
of idea is something we have to work on also. The first thing, structure. Second, content generation. The third thing is vocab. So vocabulary comes at the latter stage. It is never the prime stage. So people
Hmm.
get confused that no, while starting your journey, you should be never in hurry that I'll learn advanced vocabs. Because if you don't know the basics, then you can't go for the advanced things. So once
Hmm.
you're okay, if you have fluency, if you're able to speak on every topic, then you can go for the adaptation of vocabs. So vocab is a secondary or tertiary thing. It is never the primary thing. So people need to understand that. क्योंकि अगर मैं आपको एक वर्ड दे दूं अंग्रेजी में भी आप बोलोगे बट आपको मुझे लगेगा कि आप रट के बोल रहे हो if your
Right.
fluency is not good. So it happens with people most of the time. They focus a lot on vocabs. And also, when you are learning, try to be very choosy. Try to
Hmm.
choose certain words in which you are able to convey your message very comfortably. If
Hmm.
you're just sticking to the pronunciation, if you're getting stuck while, so what we say fluency means there should be a flow in your speaking. So
Yes.
if you're choosing a tough word, your flow will get disturbed. So no one loves that. Focus is to convey your message very smoothly. So the thing that
Hmm.
will make it more smoother, that is the way of communication.
Okay, exactly. You have talked about this, and I do agree. And I also nowadays it's okay, but I also used to feel when we speak or when we use some advanced words, idioms, and phrases, only then we will able to sound fluent. Otherwise, we will not sound fluent, right? And it happened even if I talk about
Yeah.
myself also, when I try to use any word that I never used before and suddenly I just try to use it, definitely disturbed my fluency and disturbed my
Uh,
mind completely, and I started to fumbling that
yeah,
moment.
we have to make it a habit. No, it never happens in a day or it never happens overnight. If you're
Hmm.
practicing daily, no, 1 to 2 words in 1 week. So try
Hmm.
to use in that way. If in a day you are learning 20 words, you will never be able to use because
Hmm.
application matters. It is not about how much you know, it is about how much you deliver.
Of course, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
what about writing part? How can we practice? I know most of the people, they are good at writing, but still I'm the person who is facing problem. So could you please suggest something?
Well, generally, I guide people for speaking session only, but still a basic idea which I can provide. So
Hmm.
normally in writing part, we focus on paraphrasing. So if you're
Okay.
writing on a topic, first of all, the introductory part, you have to give
Hmm.
a brief introduction regarding the topic that you are going to discuss. Then
Hmm.
after entering into the body part, the subject of the topic, so at
Hmm.
that point you have to focus on the key points. You have to highlight any important point which you want to highlight, and while doing that you have to use certain connectors also. And
Hmm.
connectors are divided into three parts. Normally we
Okay.
think that the connectors comes in between, but it has been divided into three parts generally. First of all, we
Hmm.
have sentence starters, then connectors.
Hmm.
We do use like and along with that. In addition to that, these are sentence connectors. Then
Hmm.
sentence terminators. However, overall, so these are some sentence terminators. So these are
Okay.
certain things which we have to use sequentially. And if you're able to use certain vocabs in between, it is also a good thing. It's like cherry on cake.
Of course.
And
It's
there is another
hmm.
thing also, a small thing which I forgot to add. If you know certain proverbs, some quotations, you can write down or you can mention those things because people find it relatable. जैसे कि
Hmm.
मूवी में एक डायलॉग होता है, so dialogue
Mhm.
is very crispy, is not that?
Right.
People may don't remember the each and every scene, but they remember the dialogue of the movie.
Hmm.
So that is how the proverbs are very attractive. So if you're able
Oh,
to add certain proverbs or certain remarkable lines, people will
hmm.
find it easy and attractive and representable.
Okay. Okay. So my question is related to this: how much we can use? Is it only one or two is enough, or if we use multiple quotes, or if we can recall? So
Uh,
according to you, how much should we use?
well, it depends on the length of the content. So
Okay.
normally, if you're using two, it is more than enough.
Hmm.
You shouldn't exceed more than three. It shouldn't exceed more than three.
Okay.
Uh, and it depends on the demand of the thing. No, if there is no need, you're eating a lot of biryani, then you will end up with vomiting.
Of course, of course. Yes, after every second line or after every two, three line, and you are adding just them to make it effective. That's not right. Of course.
Mhm. That's it.
Okay. 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 And fine. And what about you? Have you ever given this exam, IELTS?
Yeah, I have given it once because I wanted to work as a speaking trainer, and for that we need certification. So I
Hmm.
have given it once.
Okay. So how was your experience?
Yeah, experience is good because it took me almost 2 to 2.5 months to practice because those things are a bit different. Normally the questions are different, but IELTS questions are a bit imaginary sometimes. You have to focus on storytelling and you have to
Okay.
be ready for each kind of questions. Like,
Hmm.
questions are a bit different sometimes. So
Mhm.
it is all about anticipating how well you anticipate. So,
Okay.
but we have certain materials for that. If you're practicing with along with that, it will be quite easy for you. So, if a person is consistent and open to think on different topics, definitely they'll be able to get better scores. Acha, I have one question for you, as you are really good at giving expressions. So, one
Mhm.
question come to my mind, that is body language. So, what do
Okay.
you think that in communication, what is the role of body language?
Okay, so of course we know that body language is very plays a very vital role, right? And body language and our expression, because when we are saying something with a stone face, we are not moving our hand, of course, right? So that doesn't look good, and
Yeah.
that looks so boring and monotonous. Even my tone is same, so I feel that
Hmm.
everything matters a lot. Earlier, I was just speaking, not using my hand and everything. So over the time, I've learned this thing. And yes, when it comes to talking, when you are physically talking to anyone in front of anyone, so you can use your hand, your gestures more and more, right? So I feel that it is really very important.
Yes, you mentioned the right thing, and also you mentioned the tone of speaking. Now,
Hmm.
tone plays a very crucial role.
Hmm.
Why it is so? Because there are a lot of people who speaks a lot. They're
Hmm.
speaking, and they may think that they're really fluent, but fluency doesn't mean that you have to just speak continuously without any pause, and
Okay.
also having a proper tone. If you're happy, you have to have that happy tone. If you're
Hmm.
addressing or advising someone, the tone is very different. So the
Mm.
intonation is something that is very crucial while communicating. If you want to be an effective communicator, then focus on your tone of speaking. That can make you very impactful speaker.
Right. I do agree with this.
Hmm.
Okay, one more question for you. This is my last question.
Okay.
So, and this is related to this exam. Okay, so one person, if anyone wants to appear in this exam, so how much time or how much time exactly he can devote in order to just clear this exam? I mean, 1 month, 2 month, or more than that.
Well, normally, as far as we have seen, people even practice for 1 year or 6 months. So it
Mm,
varies. It depends on their label, their
mm,
confidence. Like unless and until they're not confident, even they don't book their slots, because 16,000 is not a small amount of money.
of course.
So people
Agree.
think twice before giving the exam if they are not able to do so. So normally, I will say that 4 months or 3 months is enough if you are at a good level. But if
Mm,
your basics are not good, if you're making a lot of grammatical mistakes, then
mm,
it will take more time, more than 4 months. So it
mm,
depends on the level of speaking and how much time they are giving while practicing. If you're giving 3 hours, 4 hours, because
mm.
each module will take at least 2 hours of practice.
Okay.
So there are four modules, so you can multiply.
Right, right. One more thing I want to ask. Okay, if person is sitting at home and he wants to practice, right, online. So, what would you like to suggest any channel, or is it possible to practice, or is it possible to prepare by himself?
Why not? I mean, see, the three modules, listening, reading, and writing, you can prepare by online also. But
Mm-hmm.
speaking is something that requires offline practice because of the body language thing. No, people can't see that we are using our hands and expression gestures. But normally, when you're speaking offline in interview, you have to use all this body language, eye contact, gesture. So for that, I will recommend offline practice for speaking. But
Okay.
other three modules one can learn online also. There are some free YouTube channels like Keith Learning and
Mm-hmm.
Asad Yakub. These are two YouTube channels for IELTS speaking.
Okay.
So very free, and you'll get a lot of tips and tricks regarding those two examinations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are two, three examinations, not only IELTS. IELTS is there, TOEFL is also there
Is
for the
there, right?
same exam, same purpose.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you can prepare online also. It depends on your level of learning and understanding and grabbing the thing.
Exactly. It varies person to person, right?
Hmm. But if a person is very introvert and shy, I will recommend offline practice.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
what
Because
happens in online practice, people usually go with audio calls. And audio calls में पता नहीं चलता बंदा सो रहा है कि बात कर रहा है.
exactly. Hmm.
So these are few things.
Okay.
And the
And
last thing I'll suggest that people should have a smile, warm smile in their face while communicating, because
hmm,
smile is the universal language. Even deaf can listen.
right, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay.
And
Hope
really,
people are.
really
Uh,
to
Thank you very much, Sakshi, and thank you to all and people those are going to watch. I guess these are the things which will be quite helpful for all of those people those are going to watch the video.
definitely all things would be very helpful for each and everyone.
And thank you to you, Sakshi, again. Keep learning, keep sharing the knowledge that you have, and keep spreading the goodness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.